Today's review is going to be on the Kahtoola Microspikes. These are actually mountaineering cleats, but for ice fishing, they are a really hard one to beat. I'm going to tell you guys the pluses, the negatives, and if you're new here and you don't already know this, I don't usually get bought and paid for. I'm kind of one of those stubborn people. That's very few of us left on the market that when we talk about stuff, we tell you the truth. So let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to get into it right away here. I'm not going to make this a big, long video. The reason I'm making this, if anybody's wondering, is I have had a couple different people this season already. So this is the 23-24 ice fishing season. Already ask me what cleats I use. And I get this question about 500 times this season. So I want to make a quick video and show you guys why I'm using what I'm using and what made me go the direction I am, and like any major problems and or like headaches that I've come across. I've been using these, the Kahtoola Microspikes for like, I think about 10 years now, since they came out. One day somebody told me about them. I don't have any money. So when the first time I heard about these things, the price seemed astronomical. But now I've been living on the ice basically for like the last 6-7 years of my life here. I've ice fished my whole life. I've used a million different spikes. I'm not going to get into a bunch of different ones, but the big problem that I've always come across was like they either fell off your feet, they didn't do the job, you still fell over or slipped and fell on the ice, which hurts. So I'm going to try to make this like all about the key points that if you're looking for these for any other reason than ice fishing, this isn't really the video for you. I can say you might learn a few things about them that you might want to know, as far as like if you're going to use them for mountaineering and all that stuff that they're supposed to be used for. Technically, these aren't an ice fishing spike, but a bunch of ice fishermen use them. So I'm going to go right off the bat here and say I have them on my, they're on my Baffin impacts, and the big thing I want to show you guys right away, and like I said, I'm very honest about my stuff, so I'm going to show you guys this. So that little piece is supposed to be in that hole right there. I can take the time to put it in there, take some pliers and crimp it back down, and it'll probably make it through the rest of the season. But I don't know what it was that causes that. I don't know if it's the hardness of the ice you're always walking on, if snow getting packed in there does it. But this has happened other times with other spikes. So I've owned multiple pairs of these also. One of the things I want to get across to everybody is I probably bought 5 to 6 pair of these in my lifetime. Most times I destroy them. So like if you catch this rubber with an auger, it slices and they're basically useless once you slice this. I have actually, being broke in the past, sewed this back together with fishing thread and a hot needle. It worked. But yeah, so anytime I've had to replace them, 9 times out of 10 it's because of myself. One thing you don't ever want to do with these boots, or with these types of spikes with this rubber mesh around them that fits over your boot, is if this is your heater, don't rest your foot right up next to your heater to warm up your foot or whatever. Like, don't ever just set your foot there, because if you're close enough, I've actually had these melt because it's not a high temp rubber, and that's another reason I have broken them. Something else I want to get into real quick is that, like, one thing that a lot of people won't know or understand. So these are a large, and they are on a size 9 boot, if I remember that's the right size. Yeah. So these are a size 9 in the Baffin impact. So they're considered a pack boot. So like when you're wearing them, the size of this is way bigger than, like, you know, a standard little muck boot or, you know, something smaller soled. The base of this has got so much beef to it because it's designed for ice cold weather. I love these boots, but we're not going to get into that. But just so you understand that the nicest thing I think I like about Kahtoola's is when you order them, which I will have these linked in the description for you guys below. Like when I order them from like Amazon, there's 2 size listings, and make sure you're paying attention to that for your boots. One size is for like a standard like hiking boot, or like a type of like a smaller boot, and then there's pack boot sizes. So like actual winter pack boots are much larger than your average thing. So like you don't want to get like the wrong size because you weren't paying attention to which size chart you were looking at. So keep that in mind when you're going to order these, if you're looking to pick some up. And like I said, so like some people wouldn't want to get it because of this. I can tell you right now, this has happened probably 2 or 3 times in the past, and all I did was I stuck it back through the hole, crimped it down with the pliers, and it lasted for whatever amount of time until I did something stupid like caught an auger on the edge of my boot. And then when you do that, you you wrecked them yourself. It's not the product's problem, it's you. And like I said, I'm just being honest with how these things work. 10 of 10, I will say that these will grab. Like, you can sprint on the ice with these. Like, anybody who's chasing down tip-ups and stuff, you can chase tip-ups down with these, and it's like, it's such a no-brainer to do that. Like, you should definitely be doing all your running with a pair of Kahtoolas on. Like, I honestly have tried almost every other brand. I think there's one other one. I can't remember what the name of it, but there's another one that's very similar to these. They have smaller spikes, so these are almost like a 1/2-inch spike. There's another brand that's like this that has big heavy chains and a smaller spike, and those work pretty good themselves. But I don't, the way these fit to the boot, you know, as you guys can see how they fit over like your toe cap, and the way the circumference of this circle fits around the narrow part of your boot, it really keeps them from falling off. The one thing I will say is if you go walking through slush, so like I don't typically walk through slush in these boots. That's why these just stay on here. I mean, that's why I have it on here in the first place. I don't ever take them off. I put them on and I leave them on the boot because it's a slip-on. But the problem that I came across on the ice was if I'm walking through slush a lot and it's cold out. So like say you're walking through a slushy lake and it's actually below freezing, but there's slush because there's too much snow or whatever. These will build up and the chains will grab the slush. And that's what I was trying to say. Other brands will do the same thing, but I know for a fact with these ones, if you get a lot of slush built up in this area and you start building up snow and slush, if you get a good weight on there, it will find a way to work this off. But this is so tight that as long as you're maintaining this, I just look at it every once in a while. They seem to stay on pretty well. So they do fall off if you're not paying attention to how you're using them. And I mean, it's not like a regular thing. 9 times out of 10, like 9 trips out of 10, these are not going anywhere. So just the thing to keep in mind when you're looking at getting a pair of these is you can have them fall off. Okay guys, so a big thing, like I said, I just wanted to get this out there because I had a lot of people asking me these questions and I just realized I'd never done a review on them, mainly because I just use them. Like I love them. The price of them are a little more expensive than the really cheap ones, but if you're not somebody like me that you don't live on the ice all the time, or you're not a big ice fisherman type thing, don't worry about picking up these guys. Just stick with your cheap ones, do all that stuff. But if you can afford these and you do like ice fishing, if you're somebody who likes to be out on the ice more than 5 days a season, this is an invaluable investment. You stay off your butt, you fall a whole lot less. And then on top of that, it just gives you that peace of mind of like walking around on ice. I just forget all the time nowadays because I've been using them so long that like I can just walk on ice and not slide. Like it's a weird thing that you get complacent almost, because like I've walked on ice without those on thinking that I had them on and then I fell. So it does happen, but with those on, I mean, it's invaluable, like I said. So hopefully I helped answer some of your questions. If you have any other questions about them that I can't think of right now, I think I covered most of the stuff that most people would like worry about, like any problems and stuff like that. Like I said, I just wanted to be honest. I wanted to get you guys some good information if you still wanted to pick some up for this season, or if you see this in the future. They're definitely worth the investment. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something. And yeah, subscribe if you like ice fishing and you're new here. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.